And I dug my key into the side of his pretty little souped up four-wheel drive. He was drunk and he just started like kind of gyrating and dancing. They're like climbing up on a table trying to like get the fucking shirt down from the chandelier. Yo, what's up everybody? How's it going? We're back in the lounge again this morning, Friday episode. Rocking and rolling, getting ready to rock into the weekend. We have the Kentucky Derby coming up on Saturday, I think so, this weekend. And I only know that because I saw Toby Keith, RIP the legend. He has a horse posthumously running in this race. His horse, I think it was like his children or his grandchildren, posted that his horse is going to be running in the Kentucky Derby. And I think that is fucking awesome. I just had the name in my head and it just escaped me, so I'm going to be looking it up right now. But Toby Keith, man, what a legend. He passed away a year ago, I think. Rendered Judgment is Toby Keith's horse. Rendered Judgment, I don't really gamble. However, just for the heck of it, I may end up throwing a little spot, a little 5 spot or something on Toby Keith, because the memories that become unlocked with Toby Keith just could be expanded upon for quite some time. I mean, not only is Toby Keith like outside of the national anthem, I think the Star Spangled Banner is like just an easy breezy, just classic, like you can't go wrong with as far as like karaoke songs, like staple. Like you need something to go to, you don't know what to do, you can't sing, go to the national anthem. I can't sing, I'm not that good, but who's gonna boo you singing the national anthem? Everyone's gonna sing along with you. Everyone's gonna stand up on their feet, hands on hearts, hands on heads, hats off. Been there, done that. Ran karaoke at a bar for 3 years in college, and I've seen it happen, folks. I used to kick off the night with it. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the first song I ever sang karaoke at the bar, probably about 3-ish months, maybe more, of just simply hosting. Like, all right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, can we get Carlos to the stage? Next up, Carlos. All right, give it up for Carlos, everybody. That was Carlos. One more time, round of applause for Carlos. And can we get Casey to the stage? Next up, we got Casey coming to the stage. And it's very much just like, maybe mixing some songs in between, as far as like, keeping the crowd amped, when we'd start the night off, like, hey, welcome to Cabin Karaoke, I'd kind of get into it, starting to like find the groove, find the rhythm, start playing some like pump up the jams, pump it up while the beat is pumping. You just, when you hear that, that like, that beat start playing, you just kind of hear people just like talking, and all of a sudden they're just kind of like, yeah, okay. But, fun time. Like I said, Toby Keith, first song I ever sang, I felt, and I heard this song all the time. My grandmother, one of the greatest women ever, R.I.P., Miss Merle, she had a pretty cool setup in her house. You turn on the light in the kitchen. Same thing in the basement. You turn on the light in the basement. She's going down there to do her laundry or anything like that. She's in the kitchen cooking, cleaning, doing whatever. The radio was connected to it. Automatically would turn on with the lights and would start playing 100.7 WITL. It was like the country station that we used to listen to. I think it was out of Lansing. You had the Banana Don and Stephanie McCoy show in the morning with Stump the Chump. We used to call in. We think we called in twice to that successfully. And, we'd listen to like the birthday and shout outs and announcements. My grandma would always call in on my birthday and, listen to that. And it'd always be super cool. She'd make me breakfast in the morning before the bus came. And, that'd be, like I said, fun little memories unlocked. And I can't hear Toby Keith and a bunch of various different songs like Should Have Been a Cowboy, I Want to Talk About Me, many more of his that he has on the catalog, just without thinking of like my grandmother being back in the basement, being back in the cellar, I should say, being back in the kitchen early in the morning, 6 a.m., eating those little sausage links with these toaster waffles and this like blueberry spread, this like blueberry butter. I don't even know what it was. It's no, like, I guess they don't make it anymore, or maybe they do, but I have no clue what it was. It was phenomenal. And Yeah, man, I just like I'm a really picky eater now, but like back then that was just one of the things that I loved so much, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to get it again, but I would give anything, to know what that was and maybe try it again one more time because it has been 20 years plus, 22 years maybe more since I've had the delicacy to dine on such a, you know, since I had the opportunity to dine on such a delicacy. So can't wait. Hopefully, maybe one day I'll figure it out. Maybe when somebody in the comments what I'm talking about. This like blueberry butter spread you can put on breakfast treats. I imagine you can put it on a lot of different stuff, maybe like a bagel or something like that, toast. But we'd put it on a waffle, and it was so good. And yeah, but anyways, back to Toby Keith. My first time singing karaoke. Had a few. I was allowed to. This is a pretty cool gig. I'll admit I had some pretty fun jobs in college. I worked, at the weed shop with just legal drug dealer, and then also worked at the bar. So like selling drugs, selling alcohol. Didn't wasn't a bartender. I started out in the kitchen. Used to make like the subs, the salads, the zaz, that people would be ordering. But then people moved on, graduated, and there was an opening for karaoke and then eventually trivia as well. And I just be kind of moseyed my way on over from the kitchen to the stage at the end of the bar, started hosting, kind of came my main hustle there at that point. And I was getting, a little bit of cash in my pocket as far as like a cash payout, getting a free bar tab every night, the ability to drink on the job. Plus I was clocking in and getting paid an hourly wage too. So I was leaving home with some cash in my pocket, some booze in my belly, and then, every 2 weeks I was going home and I get to show up and find a little paycheck with my name on it too. So that was pretty sick. People in line at karaoke, you don't want to wait your turn. You got a couple different options. You could always pay to cut the line. As like I was trained. The people who came before me taught me like, hey, if people really want to jump the line that bad, they can buy you a drink. They can, pay you a couple bucks, throw you, sauce you a few, grease the wheels to jump the line. And boy, so on a busy night, busy weekends, bro, there are times where you can have a day, you can go home with some cash in your pocket, baby. It's and like I said, you get to get drunk too, you get loaded. No one cares. Like it's like you're kind of like helping set the tone of the night as far as like creating like a an atmosphere. So as long as you're not like going crazy and being like an angry bitch, shout out the old host, but then everything's all good. So it doesn't everything's all kosher. And so that was a fun time. But I had a few in me, man. I grabbed the mic and I figured what better song to sing than Toby Keith's I Want to Talk About Me. I want to talk about I want to talk about number one, oh my me my. And you just first time singing, you're just like, fuck it, why not take the stage with that song? I've been listening to everybody else for a couple months and had fun with it. This is what I think that I don't know if she was like serving or behind the bar, but there was this one girl I had the biggest crush on for the longest time, and she was like, "Oh shit, Chase!" Like kind of saying something to me afterwards. Either way, that doesn't matter. Karaoke is a blast, and I think some of the most fun times I had were watching this like relationship slowly devolve like over the course of like several months. There's like karaoke is for the regulars. You have people who come out once or twice and for the fun of it, but for the most part, you've got people who like to be on stage, who want to sing, who want to perform, and they come back regularly. So you kind of get used to familiar faces. You learn names. You also know what songs they're going to sing because some of them just sing the same things every single time. No switching it up. So it's just like, all right, we know it's going to be. But still, there's some really good performers too. Like I said, shout out my guy Carlos. He was always killing it. He got me hooked on these power love ballads and such from the 90s. These like more like, like heartbreaky-ish song. Like I said, they're ballads, you know what I mean? So if that makes sense. But he just belt him out. He's got a great voice, and then I'd be like, "This is a catchy song," and I'd listen to it and be like, "Wow, whoever sings this has a really good voice too." So, kind of got me hooked on that. It's kind of like, something I like to listen to, but I'm not a huge music guy. Oh, I'm horrible at naming songs and naming artists and stuff like that, recognizing them, but still, it's cool. I like it. I wish I knew better at it. I wish I had some musical talent. My buddy Zach is one of the most musically gifted people I know as far as like their um, music recognition skills. Like he is able to hear a song and sing it like word for word within like three listens, and he'll remember the title and the artist like within like 30 seconds, or one listen, one time. It's all it takes for him to like get it down, and he's got the most diverse and like largest catalog of music that I've ever got to like experience from anyone else. Just hang out with him a lot. We'll ride around in the car, and you see like his playlist, and you're seeing that you're listening to like song 352 of 6,890. And it's like, and then he just is skipping through, and you're like, I have no clue who these artists are. But then like you'll listen to like the first 10 seconds of them, and they're just so different. All of them are like, oh shit, like why'd you skip that one? That one sounded cool. And it's like impossible to keep up. But man, as a karaoke, like I said, you get to see like people like that at karaoke. Like those types of abilities and talents, and that's really fun. But also too, like you get to see like it's like with the good comes the bad, and the bad is the best. And I even with the bad, the ugly. That's just so fun. Shout out Clint Eastwood. But there was this couple who would come to karaoke, and they were quite unique. They went by the most special people were the ones who went by their stage names. Oh my god, like small town, like college town karaoke. Like I went to a Mac school, Central Michigan. It's up in Mount Pleasant, super tiny. Like 80% of the population's there, like during the school year, and then there's a large portion of people who like move out, and it's quite empty. Like you see these like large empty lots and stuff like that in like the apartment communities and stuff like that, because there's just no one there anymore. It is insane and so hilarious to see these people with their stage names, and I love it. Like I totally get it, and some of them do it for professional reasons, like they don't want someone from work to like see them, like give them the chance to be like, oh, like was that you? Like, oh no, like gives them like that like grace of like oh, that wasn't really me. It was someone who looked like me type deal, and like that's totally cool. But like there's like and like obviously those people like you get to know, and like they're really cool. Some of those regulars, but also you have the regulars who are just like, yeah, like this is what I go by, and you almost don't ever really ever learn their real name. Like the other people are like, yeah, like this is my real name, but like, I go by this, blah blah blah. And like you get to know them, and it's almost like those are the people you're like the saddest. Like when you had like when you end up moving on and leaving, it's just like, oh man, like I've seen you guys like every week for forever. Like we like have a toast, have a laugh, say what's up, and it's like, oh damn, like it's just gonna miss that so much. But then it's like the other people who are like, yeah, like it's like it's dazzle here. I'm ready for my time on stage. You know what I'm signing up for. Put me down for my 3. It's like, god damn, I am gonna miss you too, Dazzleton. I am gonna fucking miss you, but not for the reasons you think. But there's special. This one couple, they would come, they would do solos and duets, and they would always do like an Eminem Dr. Dre duet. It was an interracial couple too. It was very fun. Like the white guy, black woman, and this dude was just always rocking the Eminem. Like he would like performances. He not only would he do the Forgot About Dre. That's the like Forgot About Dre. Like I couldn't remember how the song goes. And again, obviously I'm horrible with music, but he'd do that one. Nothing But a G Thing, I think is another song he'd do. Quite Ready. That was a Snoop Dogg song, I think. And then Stan. And I like can't hear that song without like thinking about being at the cabin and like listen like oh, that perfect like this. He also loved like Sir Mix-a-Lot's like I like big butts and I cannot lie. You know that's a fun one. And it was so funny, bro. He'd always just like want the whole like he'd be like, ladies, get up in the air. Let's see you shake that thing. Like I said, this is like a C tier bar in this college town. There are definitely like better, like more poppin' places to go. Like this place would get busy and get poppin', but not like on the regular like that. It was like I said, like on the bigger nights when everything was going off, like this place would go off too, and like it'd be like a night every once in a while where like it would just have its night. But for the most part, like this wasn't like the place people went to like pop out, go off, and definitely wasn't like the I'm going to like shake my ass and like grind it and like dry hump somebody on the dance floor because there is no dance floor. It's called the cabin. It's a fucking log cabin building, you know, and it was insane. Like he is like the atmosphere like the would try to be cultivated. It's just like read the room, bro. Like this is not that type of place. I mean, and like, you know, no fault to him. Like, hey, hats off for trying, you know. But and I talk to the guy all the time. He tell me like, you got to come out to Saginaw with me. You got to come out to Flint with me sometime, man. I tear it up out there. You know, we can hit karaoke together. And I know he's like, that sounds cool, man. Sounds cool. You know, like I got school. You know, I'm busy with classes and you know working and whatnot. But maybe one day, you know, maybe one day. And you know, so I mean, obviously different scenes down there. He probably like does way better down there too. But it's just like what the like this is Mount Pleasant, dude. And you're at the fucking log cabin, you know, bar, just like outside of like the city, like the town a little bit. You're kind of like getting more into like the country and into like the farming areas again. Like you're not getting fucking Sir Mix-a-Lot out here. It's just, but again, like I said, I'm tangenting. It's taking forever just to explain that this couple would come and slowly, like, you know, they start showing up independently or like they start showing up, you know, separately, but staggered. Like, you know, like one of them shows up and then 45 minutes later the other, and they're not really like hanging around each other, stuff like that. And then that's, you know, then the pieces start to like get put together because, I don't want to use her alias even, but the lady, the wife comes up on stage and sings the most infamous song in top three, like up there, on the Mount Rushmore of cabin karaoke songs. On the code for this song, it's the only song I still remember the code for, 60306. Season, I want to say 2 winner of American Idol, Carrie Underwood. And I dug my key into the side of his pretty little souped up 4-wheel drive. Before he cheats, man, I have heard that song so many fucking times. And that, like I said, she started singing that song, and it was like, I felt like Rowley and Diary of a Wimpy Kid sitting up on stage, just sitting back there like, zoo-wee mama. Holy shit. So that's what happened. And I mean, you kind of like hear about this guy's going out to like Saginaw and Flint and like trying to get the bar popping and creating like the club atmosphere at karaoke. And like he's doing all this in like Mount Pleasant without his wife, or like she shows up like, you know, late sometimes, you know, when they were still together, it seemed like. And so it was just like, oh fuck. Getting after it, my guy. But oh well, not sweating the swag. It's just hilarious to see, because then it's just like, you know, obviously just you see her start singing that, and then it's just him over there just pacing around. And I can't remember like the song he sang. Oh man, I fucking wish I remember. But like one time he sang, and it was one of those like, not like take me back, but like I know I fucked up, and like I wish like I could change things type deal. And oh my god, it's just the drama of karaoke sometimes. Well, I said I had to kick somebody out one time my guy Carlos again, like come up singing, and this one dude, he came up on stage, he was drunk, and he just started like kind of gyrating and dancing while Carlos was singing. And the first time it was funny, and he came up at like the end of the song, and it was just like haha whatever. Comes up the second song, and starts like getting after it, and he like is lifting up his shirt, ends up taking it off. Dumbass is swinging his shirt around, throws it off into the crowd, gets stuck in a chandelier, and I'm like, good, fuck him. Here he is up on stage, still dancing around, starts twirling the hips, swirling around, has his ass to the crowd, kind of shaking a little bit, goes to the belt, and it starts undoing it. That's when I was like, all right, show's over, fun's not, we're not having any more fun here. End up grabbing him by like the back of the belt and just like turning him around and like at the back of the neck, and I'm like, hey, it was funny till it wasn't, bud. I kept telling him as we're walking to the door, like, hey, it was funny till it wasn't. It was funny until it wasn't. You know what I mean? It was funny till it wasn't. And had to throw him out. And I'm not a bouncer at all. I just was like, I ended up feeling like super confused. And I went up to my boss and I'm like, hey, I just threw this guy out. He was like still about to get naked on the stage. I didn't know what to do. And she was totally cool with it. Their friends are all like, oh my God, like, can we like pay his tab? Like, we're so sorry. They're like climbing up on a table trying to like get the fucking shirt down from the chandelier. It was kind of wild. It was one of like the few times I had to like kind of be an authoritative figure, because I'm not like a fucking I'm not like a bossy son of a bitch. I hate telling people what to do, but I have no problem like being a bit of a dick. Like this one dude was hollering and like booing during people's performances. So I got like no problem just kind of like spouting off on the mic and telling them like knock it off, cut the shit type deal. But another time somebody was booing my buddy Ben, this drunk motherfucker, man. He was sitting in like the corner booths, and like they like project to the stage. You can like hear like a fucking mouse fart from like even while someone's singing. Like a normal conversation just echoes towards the stage, and it's an empty bar. And there's this couple, like a fucking 75-year-old man who gets on stage and starts singing. And my buddy Ben just thinks he's being funny. I mean, it was hilarious, but it's also like, there's a 75-year-old guy singing to his wife in an empty fucking bar. All of a sudden, you just hear, boo. I fucking pulled a dad, like one of my parents, like, I swear to fucking God, we will turn this fucking car around. I will call somebody and he will come pick you up and you will go home right now. Like, I felt so fucking bad. And then afterwards, the guy was like, I kind of want to sign up again, but I don't think anyone really wants me to sing. And I was like, oh, you can sign up again, man. You can sign up anytime you want. I felt so, but it's just like, one of these things in hindsight, you look back on it, it's like, who gives a fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck old people. Like, we're all going to get old and die anyways, it's like no harm to this guy. It was just like a bit rude, and it's just like, God damn, it's funny as fuck though. Like, I loved karaoke, man. Like the cabin, what a time, man. What a time. Trivia too would do that. It was a fun time. That was only like once a week. Karaoke twice a week, but a blast. I don't think I'll ever have like quite a run of cool jobs. At least maybe one day. I definitely like hope to cultivate that type of career and just ultimately, ever since I was a little kid, I just wanted to do stuff that I thought was cool, and saw people on TV. Just that was their job, people talking about sports, people like Bob Barker and hosting The Price is Right, Wayne Brady hosting Let's Make a Deal. I freaking loved Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like Colin Mockery, Ryan Stiles, fucking Wayne Brady as well. Brad, I can't remember his name right. Like Brad, you'd also have, there was Chip. There's a bunch, but there's a rotating. You had Colin and Ryan, those, and like Wayne were the general three. Greg Proops, those guys like would rotate out a little bit, like in that like fourth chair. But Laura Hall on the piano, ladies and gentlemen. Like I loved that show. I mean, honestly, like I kind of want to steal scenes from my hat and just kind of like have like topics from my hat one time and just pull them out. But man, just always thought that shit was cool. Hopefully one day I'll get to do stuff like that. Think back to like hosting karaoke, like working at a bar and just selling weed and do like being a drug dealer and like a legal drug dealer essentially, and working at the bar, just getting drunk and getting paid for it, was pretty cool. So like I said, maybe one day we'll have some other cool stuff. Maybe like maybe one day I'll start getting paid to do this shit. So who knows? But my guy JB just walked in. JB. So we'll wrap it up there. We'll send it off to the weekend and look forward to little Cinco de Mayo action come Monday morning. So see you alligators later.